we go.
And now, following your consumer advocate Craig Sewing for the 7 p.m. hour, he's a San Diego native, a top-rated real estate professional by the Wall Street Journal, and featured regularly on Channel 4's The American Dream Saturday mornings. It's Whissel time. Your host, Kyle Whissel.
Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Clay Murray. I am not Kyle Whissel, but thank you for tuning in just the same. I'm a loan officer from Team Home Loans. You may recognize the name Jason Hall, the usual co-host of this show, is our branch manager. So honored to be here with you tonight. With me, as the same as last week, is my cohort partner in crime, Travis Sailing, another loan officer at Team Home Loans. Travis, how we doing?
Doing excellent. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. 2 weeks in a row, man. I could start to get used to this.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the ratings are up, so they just demanded us to come back.
That's true. We did get a contract offer last week.
Reviewing it, yeah.
The best show I think the station's ever seen.
Unbelievable show. I hope we can do half of what we did last week.
We'll see. We set the bar pretty high, but there's one thing for sure. We may not see Jason Hall or Kyle Whissel ever again.
It's very possible.
We blew them out of the water.
That's correct.
But the show will remain Whissel Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. Special guest tonight. I'm very honored for this.
I'm excited for this beyond belief. This is incredible.
You guys need to be pumped for this. We have in studio Bill Murray. Bill, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Excellent. So, Bill, I will make reference to this right away to clear the air. Bill is my dad. I'm very happy to have him here. First time on radio, correct?
Correct.
I'm sure you've called in a time or two before.
Oh, maybe once.
Yeah. First time in the studio, though, on the hot seat tonight. We are going to talk to Bill a little bit about what he does in the life insurance business, dealing with Medicare. A little bit different topic than what we usually talk about. Normally, this is a real estate market, mortgage market.
We're very well-rounded here.
We want to offer you everything that we have. And today we have Bill Murray, ladies and gentlemen.
That is exciting.
But
so we'll be talking about Ghostbusters 3.
Ghostbusters 3, that's right, an all-female cast from what I'm hearing.
We should get Bill Murray in Ghostbusters 3.
That's true. I think we might be able to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a cameo.
That's the point of this megaphone that we have in 1170 KCBQ. We need to get word out that Bill Murray is ready. Bill, what do you think?
I'm a Groundhog Day fan myself.
That's true. So, well, now we have to talk about it. All right, so Bill, not only does he share the namesake with arguably one of the greatest comedians ever, Bill Murray, but he was also born on Groundhog Day, one of Bill Murray's most famous movies. So, any stories with that connection?
Well, just a short one. My wife called into, maybe it was KCBQ at the time, if Larry Himmel was here. But and we got some free tickets because when Groundhog Day came out, it was going to be my 40th birthday that year.
Oh, my gosh.
So we got some free tickets to a premiere showing. And just like Bill Murray in the movie, I sat down in the movie, it started, and I fell asleep.
No way.
And then I kept waking up during the movie and falling asleep.
A ringing endorsement of the movie, undoubtedly. Oh, my gosh. I didn't know that part. I did know the story about you going to the movie, but that's pretty funny, too. Okay, well, I want to stay on track a little bit, which is our normal off-track first segment.
Right.
So we always talk sports, and of course there's always a lot going on in sports. I think right now the biggest story is probably the NBA playoffs.
Absolutely.
Unless you're a hockey fan, which I don't
get out of
any
here.
of us are. Okay, cool.
Which the hockey playoffs have been amazing, but we'll stick with the NBA.
Okay, Paul. All right, play to your audience here. We're going NBA playoffs. 2 nights ago, right? Was the Golden State game?
Yes.
Okay, so Steph Curry made a huge impact. His first game back after the torn MCL, is that what it was, or sprained MCL?
Sprained.
Yeah. So big impact. They weren't sure he was going to play very much. I think he was slated for 25 minutes.
They only wanted to play him 25 minutes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden comes to overtime, and he scores 17 points in the overtime, which has never been even touched.
An NBA record, right?
Absolutely.
Playoffs or not? Okay,
no,
yeah.
just an NBA record, and he scores 17 in the overtime. Scores 40 for the game, and then the next night wins the MVP award unanimously for the first time.
How impressive is that?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they've all won MVP awards. Never one of them won unanimously. And Steph
never back-to-back, right?
Jordan's won back-to-back.
Right.
There's been back-to-back MVPs, but nobody's
never
won unanimously.
Yeah, so I mean, very impressive, and it goes to show you what kind of player he is and what he means to that team. I mean, sure, they've still progressed throughout the playoffs without him, but it seems like they're scratching and clawing a little bit more without him, and he comes in and just has an immediate impact.
They were getting killed before they brought him in.
Exactly, it's a game changer because the Warriors were up 2-1. If Curry was unavailable for that game, then all of a sudden, Portland wins that game, and it's a different series. Like, even if you bring back Steph Curry, like, Portland might have enough momentum, and the players, like Damian Lillard is playing out of his mind right now. Like, you can make a case for him up to this point being the playoff MVP. Like, there is no reason for the Trailblazers to be this deep in the playoffs, if not for Damian Lillard.
Right.
And then all of a sudden Steph Curry comes back, and it's like, oh yeah, this really is the best team in the league.
But he really has a history of going off at home. I mean, if you go back and look at the other playoffs that he's had in previous years, he has a history of being the man in Portland. So it's not like it's totally out of the realm, but you're right, he is carrying them once again, and they unfortunately be probably eliminated here in the next game or two.
Yeah,
What's the series standing right now?
The Warriors are up 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah. But if the Warriors win this, if the Trailblazers win this last game, and then they goes 2-2, and we go back to Portland, then who knows what happens?
True.
And I know they got a little bit of they got lucky with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin getting injured in the first round of the playoffs, and they basically trounced them in the last 2 games. But I mean, Portland is not a bad team. And what the Warriors did last night or 2 nights ago was really, really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what Steph Curry did individually in overtime was super
and they showed why they're defending champions, and while they're most likely going to be repeat champions.
Wait a second. Now, don't you guys have another wager going on that would?
That's true.
It would tend to.
Well, it might not even come. Yeah, it might not even come to be here because we got a big Spurs fan over here.
Yes.
But the way it's looking is the Spurs might not even make it to the next round. So I don't know if we'll even have a bet because.
What is the bet? Just so we can get it out there.
Well, I'm going to take.
Paul's looking a little sheepish in the booth.
Very quiet over there.
Go ahead. Paul, quiet down. Travis is talking. Okay.
So he would like to take the Spurs over Golden State, but I'm not even sure that they're going to get past Oklahoma because Oklahoma's playing out of this world ball right now. I mean, talk about MVP. I mean, Russell is unguardable right now. His athleticism is crazy.
He's unguardable, but he's also unpredictable.
For
right
up
now,
and down. Yeah, he's streaky, hit or miss.
Yeah, he absolutely he can get you a triple-double, but he also might have 12 turnovers in one game.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's pulling triple teams, in the paint and kicking it out to some guy named Durant hitting threes. So I think they're doing okay, and I think they've kind of figured out the game plan against your boys. And I'm a little worried, to be perfectly honest.
So
I don't know.
What are the stakes of this wager?
We have another.
We haven't decided
show,
yet.
by the way.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know. We're a pretty conservative station here. 1170 The Answer. Are they
We're
going to be
gambling
okay
a lot recently.
Yeah, with all the gambling going on. So anyway, what's the wager?
It was going to be another jersey bet.
Yeah, I've got my Kawhi Leonard jersey, so I'm ready to go when I win.
And if I know you, I'm sure you don't have a Golden State jersey. You'll make him rock a Utah Jazz jersey.
That's correct.
Which nobody wants to wear.
We were just talking about those John Stockton, Karl Malone jerseys. Those fly off the shelves, actually.
Still? They're still going?
You can't find them anywhere. They're just always off the shelf.
About that. All right. Hey, I want to turn it a little more local with the sports angle here. We don't talk Padres very often on this show.
For good reason.
Yeah, we do talk Chargers. But I do want to talk about the Padres. They did drop a game last night at Wrigley. The Cubs are playing out of their minds. They're likely going to be the best team in baseball. Somebody was saying today that they think they're going to win 120 games, which is virtually impossible.
They are on pace to win 120 games, but this is the best start they've had since 1907.
Yeah,
the last time they won the World Series.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So Padres drop a game last night at Wrigley, but something very awesome happened. There's a San Diego story, aside from the Padres being from San Diego, in the top of the 8th inning, 2 outs, bases loaded. One Alex Dickerson comes to the plate to pinch hit. And we know Alex a little bit. He is a San Diego kid. He's a kid from Poway. Bill, you're from Poway. I'm from Poway. We know the Dickersons a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the connection to the family that you have.
Well, you used to coach Alex a little bit in Little League.
Oh, wow.
And in the major league draft, I had my eye on Alex, and I was going to pick him in the next round, and one of the other coaches kept picking guys off.
Now, when
right
you say
of me.
major league, you mean majors in Little League.
Oh yeah, Little League majors.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
go
so
on.
I didn't get him, but I really wanted him. Well, at the end of the season, then he was an all-star, and I got a chance to horse around with those guys a little bit, and you even came out to some of those practices.
I did. That's right.
Alex's dad, Ross, was a little concerned with high school being a couple of years away as a freshman because you had a tough time making the baseball team your freshman year.
Yes.
And Ross thought you were a fabulous baseball player. And he said, if he couldn't make it, our boys don't stand a chance.
So yeah, they know the Dickersons pretty well. My parents do. They live just a few houses up the street. So a special moment last night. We want to get to it. We do have to go to a break here really quickly, but we're going to leave you with a bit of a cliffhanger. Come back next segment. Tune in. We'll tell you what happened last night if by chance you missed it. But a huge story, and we're super proud of Alex Dickerson. This is Whissel Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
AM 1170. The Answer.
Hey, Craig Sewing here, consumer activist. You hear me every day at 6 p.m. on KCBQ. My goal is to help you win in any marketplace. One of the things that applies to every single person that listens to our show and that's listening right now, you have a credit score, and more likely than not, it has inaccuracies on it. Nobody seems to understand how these things work. Here's what I can tell you. I have a credit expert that's a partner in the show named Aran Sinai. I call him the credit magician. If you've ever had any issues with your credit, you want to get your scores up, maybe a foreclosure, bankruptcy, or maybe just a collection. You know the city of San Diego can send parking tickets to collections? Crazy. Well, bad credit's a choice. Reach out to Aran Sinai. How do you do that? You go to our website, AmericanDreamElite.com. AmericanDreamElite.com. Hit me up on the contact form. I'll connect you with Aran. AmericanDreamElite.com. If you've ever had any credit issues whatsoever, AmericanDreamElite.com.
Hi, I'm Philippe Heller with the Real Estate Inspection Company. When buying real estate today, it's more important than ever to have a thorough home inspection to protect yourself. When quality and experience count, contact the Real Estate Inspection Company. We're the largest home inspection company serving San Diego for 10 years. After checking hundreds of items throughout a house, we provide a detailed, computer-generated inspection report. And we use the newest and best infrared thermal imaging at every inspection 7 days a week. Check us out at sdinspect.com. That's sdinspect.com.
This is Craig Sewing, and I endorse Philippe Heller as our exclusive inspector for San Diego.
Hi, this is AJ Gupta from the Gupta Legal Center. You've probably seen us on the American Dream TV show and the Craig Sewing radio show. We're honored to be featured as the exclusive real estate attorney and honored to be trusted by Craig and all of his top producing realtors. Our office was also featured as a super lawyer representing California's top 5% of attorneys. You may not know whether you need an attorney or not. My suggestion is you kind of have an idea whether there's a problem or a question. So I suggest if you don't know whether you need an attorney or not, give us a call. We're happy to pick up the phone, give you a call back, figure out what it is that you need to have addressed. If we can't or don't know the issue, then we can definitely point you in the right direction. Our phone number is 619-866-3444. That's 619-866-3444, and that's GuptaLC.com. GUPTALC.com.
Back, everybody. This is Whissel Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. My name is Clay Murray, filling in for Kyle Whissel. For those of you who don't know, Kyle had a baby last week. I believe it was Wednesday, Cinco de Mayo. So we are actually it was Thursday, Cinco de Mayo. We are super excited for Kyle. He's taking some time off to be with the family. You know what? I totally forgot about this. While we're on the subject, we did have another wager last week. I believe we went closest to the pin guessing the baby's weight.
I don't remember that, Paul.
I vaguely remember it. I don't remember.
I'm sure
our
you marked
bets.
the tape.
I don't remember.
We'll get to it, but it did happen.
I'm just gonna assume that I won.
I thought I won.
I don't think so.
We'll call it a draw. We'll call it a draw.
Came in at 7 pounds 7 ounces, a beautiful baby girl, and I know that Paul wagered 7 pounds 10 ounces. Very close, my friend. Travis, way off, last place, missing the green entirely. 8 pounds 2 ounces.
The who? The her.
And your winner, only 1 ounce away, I guessed 7 pounds 6 ounces. I believe now, after the show, I will deliver an atomic wedgie to each of you, and we'll post it on social media for the fans to take a gander at. So very excited about that. Congratulations, Kyle and Brittany. Nixon is a beautiful baby girl, and we're very happy for you guys.
You guys are never allowed to guest host again. It always ends up badly for me.
That's true.
I'm right there with you, man. This is not going well for me either.
That's true. Although you're 1-1 now, Paul is
I'm 0-2.
0-2, man.
Soon to be 0-3. So.
Exactly.
I'm undefeated. Bill, you'll be lucky if you get away from the show unscathed today. But before the break, we were talking about Alex Dickerson. He pinch hit for the Padres last night at historic Wrigley Field. And in the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs, bases juiced, Alex hit his first career Major League Baseball home run in the form of a grand slam to the bleachers in right field. It was a bomb. Very nicely done. So we're very happy for Alex. We talked a little bit about his San Diego ties, his Poway ties, his Bill Murray ties. His parents, they live right up the street from you currently. You coached Alex in Little League. I know you didn't see it live, but you've since seen replays. I think you've talked to his parents or heard some stories from his parents. What's it like? I mean, how's it feel for you coaching the kid, knowing the kid as a kid?
Well, I'm really happy for him.
Absolutely.
And of particular note, he's probably been up for about 10 games, had 8 plate appearances, and it's pretty amazing that, and I don't want to jinx him, but he has yet to strike out.
Oh man. Dude, you can't do that.
That is true, though. And last night, it didn't look good for him, I'll be honest. I was watching live. First pitch was an awesome pitch, low and away on the corner, strike 1. Second pitch, Alex fanned at I believe it was a high changeup on the outside corner. So he's 0-2 with the bases juiced, a clutch opportunity, and on the next swing he just delivered. So he did miss the opportunity for his first career strikeout and instead recorded his first career home run. But you were telling me about, not only was it his first career home run, making yesterday an exciting day, but it was also a rather emotional day for the family. What happened?
Yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of the passing of his grandfather, his father's dad, that he was really close to as a youngster. And his grandfather was actually a veteran of the Yorktown that was sunk during World War II.
Okay.
And so we've had an opportunity to go down to the Midway for some special gatherings and celebrations honoring those veterans that are still with us. But yeah, it was a pretty emotional moment for his dad.
I bet. Who's not usually an emotional guy.
No.
An ex-military member himself. He's one of the toughest dudes I know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was probably shedding a tear, but definitely sharing some emotion with Mom there in Poway. But it was awesome. I couldn't believe it. I was smiling from ear to ear. And then we had to leave to go to our championship defending slow pitch softball game, where
That's right.
I'd be remiss to say or to skip the fact that I did take a comeback line drive off the head last night. I got a nice little mouse barking at me and a little bit of a headache. So
yeah, not as cool a story as hitting your first Major League home run at historic Wrigley Field.
Not at all. But yeah, I knew Travis would probably bring it up a little bit later, so I wanted to get it in there before he could. But it was a bit of an embarrassing moment, but everything is all good. Let's keep the spotlight on other things today. That's probably enough sports for the day. I do want to segue into why Bill is here. Bill, you do have some history in the mortgage business. You got a couple current loan officers here. Last week we took over the show and talked only mortgages. But what was the market like? What was the industry like when you were in the game? I mean, you hung it up about 10 years ago. How long were you originating loans before that?
I started doing real estate loans in 1978 when I joined Home Federal Savings and Loan.
Okay.
Anybody remember that organization?
It sounds familiar.
I've heard the name, no, but that's about it. Okay. And what was it like doing loans back then? I mean, were approvals easy? Was the process easy? I mean, I know you didn't have anything really going electronically. In fact, as a kid, I remember running to the Transbox to drop off loan documents here and there for you. So what was it like back then?
Back in the early days that I was doing it in the late 70s, there really wasn't much of a secondary market. Everything that was produced was kept in portfolio, and lenders serviced their own. They didn't sell the servicing either. Mm-hmm. And so loan officers who are originating loans actually had the approval authority for those loans.
That's unbelievable. So everything went through.
Well, not really.
Fund it. All
if
right.
Jason was here, he'd be ecstatic.
Where's the fund it button? Yeah.
Yeah, there was still a delinquent ratio that everybody had to deal with, and everybody had their own personal delinquent ratios.
Right. Okay.
So you were graded on that pretty strictly.
Okay. So you got out just before the bubble burst and the crash happened in 07, 08. But you were right there in the height of things, in all those bad loans being done for borrowers who had no business getting them. Why did that happen? And what do you think led to the bubble bursting ultimately?
Well, whenever there was a robust economy and mortgages and real estate was robust, then a lot of people from other sales walks of life would enter the mortgage industry. And it wasn't uncommon to have a lot of improperly documented loans, mm-hmm. and even reduced documentation loans were always really popular.
Uh-huh.
Well, and when things began to get really crazy and appreciation was at a rapid rate, then negative AM loans became very popular and with very, very low teaser rates, and people could get in and bank on the equity of the future and survive it. But we've been through a few of those cycles over the years that I've been involved in, and it's always turned out the same way. It was worse this last time.
Sure. Now, some of those low doc or no doc loans, I've heard of the Ninja loan, the no income, no job loan. That's probably my favorite one. It basically solidifying the adage that if you had a pulse, you could get a loan. Is that kind of the feeling that it was?
A lot of times it was like that, yeah, because if you didn't have a job, well, you were self-employed, and then then you could state your income.
Right. Well, and nowadays we have what's called 4506T forms, where we actually go to the government and ask them, all right, we have this borrower's tax returns. Is this what they actually filed with you? But Jason, our branch manager, has told stories of borrowers saying, okay, well, you want my tax returns. Which ones? Do you want the ones that I show for the loan or the ones that I actually gave to the government? He's like, what are you talking about? They should be the same thing. So, yeah, we've heard stories, and that's why I think it's a little bit different today, is that right now the government has stepped in a lot. I mean, we have a new governing body called the CFPB. They are just overseeing everything, and loans are a lot harder to come by. I mean, there's strict qualification guidelines and benchmarks that you have to hit, otherwise it's not going to happen for you. And that's why I kind of think it's not going to happen again in at least the same severity that happened before.
You would need to see a pretty big economic meltdown where people are shedding jobs constantly. We've had 7 years of pretty stable job growth, and now we're starting to see wages actually go up. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I can see in the near future that could possibly bring values down would be a global slowdown and people losing jobs and stuff like that. But the loans themselves are being underwritten very, very carefully. They're not jeopardizing people's homes anymore with risky loans. So it's very much by the book. They have really strict guidelines. There are no more cheater loans where you can just state your income, state your assets, nothing like that. It's purely show me what you got, and if you have a good job, you've been there a long time, then we'll give you a loan.
Right. And so those loans were kind of the standard of the industry, but was there ever a deal where you're like, God, I can't believe I'm doing this, but it went through and passed with flying colors?
Only my own.
Okay. So, all right. So back then you could do your own loan.
Yes. Yeah. I did all of my own loans.
And what year was the last time you did your own loan?
Probably right around 2000 when I built the Golden Sunset House.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And actually, we want to talk about the Golden Sunset House. It's one of your current properties right now. It is a Whissel Realty listing, so we'll touch on that probably next segment. But I had another question. When you're doing your own loans, you kind of have the ability to play God almost. Is that how it felt? I mean,
well, sort of, because there were certain things that you knew that you should be a little bit uncomfortable about, and you just were strategizing, well, how am I going to make this a part of the file or not? But I think that still goes on even when you're reviewing your clients'
it does to
deals.
some extent, but it makes me feel better that, you hear about some of the stuff that was going on. This is only like 10 years ago. I mean, the fact that the market and the industry has changed so much in 10 years, that's what makes me so confident that we're not going to have the same kind of bubble. So those of you who are listening who, you're thinking, gosh, I don't know if I want to buy. Is this a bubble? I'm nervous to get in the market. These are the kinds of loans that we were dealing with during the last bubble burst. I can tell you right now that it's night and day difference. Travis and I will get you in the right loan, and we're not going to put you in a loan that you have no business being in and affording in the near future. So if you're interested, give us a call. You can track us down at teamhomeloans.com. We are going to go to break, come back for segment number 3, and talk a little bit about what Bill Murray is doing nowadays and how it's a little bit different from the rest of the field. This is Whissel Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is AM 1170, The Answer.
Hey, San Diego, Craig Sewing here. Look, one of the things that nobody likes to hear is that they got bugs in their home. Almost all California homes have some sort of bug or termite problem. It's not a cool thing to have bugs running around your house, so I'm going to help you get rid of them. I want you to connect with Lloyd's Pest Control. These are our good friends of the Craig Sewing Show. They can help you. They've been in business, putting bugs out of business since 1931. They'll do a free inspection for you. If you want to get your biggest investment checked out, make sure there's not bugs or termites, go to LloydPest.com. That's LloydPest.com and get a free inspection of your real estate today.
Hi, I'm Philippe Heller with the Real Estate Inspection Company. When buying real estate today, it's more important than ever to have a thorough home inspection to protect yourself. When quality and experience count, contact the Real Estate Inspection Company. We're the largest home inspection company serving San Diego for 10 years. After checking hundreds of items throughout a house, we provide a detailed computer-generated inspection report. And we use the newest and best infrared thermal imaging at every inspection 7 days a week. Check us out at sdinspect.com. That's sdinspect.com.
Hey, Craig Sewing here. There's no shortage of commercials out there, whether it's TV, radio, even social media. And heck, I even saw an infomercial for solar. You see it everywhere these days. Well, it's because solar is important. It can reduce your electric bill. It's good for the planet. And it's just a great thing to do with your home. It can add value to it. However, there is so much misinformation. Just because somebody is out there advertising does not make them a reliable source. I want to introduce you to my good friends with Baker Electric Solar. The owner, Mike Teresa, I've got to know him really well. This is the only company that I would recommend for you to reduce your electric bill through solar energy. Such a smart move. It's time to do it. Here's how you reach out to them. BakerElectricSolar.com. BakerElectricSolar.com. They will talk to you for free. They'll give you an assessment, and they will help you reduce that electric bill. And again, this is the only group that I trust. BakerElectricSolar.com.
Welcome back, everybody, and good evening. This is Whissel Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. My name is Clay Murray. I'm a loan officer with Team Home Loans of the Jason Hall branch, your usual co-host. Week number 2 for Travis Sailing and I, my co-host today, another loan officer at Team Home Loans. Travis, thanks for being here again.
Of course.
And we've been speaking with our guest of honor, Bill Murray. For those of you who missed the last 2 segments, this is the Bill Murray.
The Bill Murray.
Yes. Bill Murray, my father. But we were talking about how you do have some experience in the mortgage industry. You were an originator, but you got out. You wanted to do something different. And if I remember correctly, the story of how you transitioned into being a life insurance broker and Medicare is because you had to help a family member. Is that right?
It's true.
Okay, so talk about that a little bit.
All right. I was doing individual and employer plans, and it really wasn't going that well. And when I mean health insurance plans, really wasn't going that well. And your aunt came to me one day and asked me if I knew anything about Secure Horizons, and I said no, but let me do a little checking. So it took me about a month to find somebody to talk to who would allow me to become appointed and sell a Medicare plan. But I had to go through a significant number of certifications. The Medicare side of the business is extremely regulated, strictly.
I'm sure.
Anyway, so I finally got certified, and I wrote her deal, and they gave me another lead, and I closed that, and they got pretty excited, so they gave me a Walmart store to go sit by the pharmacy and talk to seniors coming in, filling their prescriptions.
That's right. You had your own little booth right there, right?
I did.
With a drop box, and I'm sure you'd get some colorful names here and there.
Well, and they first assigned me down to a National City store where there's a lot of Hispanics coming in, and I didn't speak very good Spanish, but I waded my way through it and actually closed a few of those deals.
Excellent.
They set me up in front of the birth control section of the pharmacies.
Was that a popular section?
It was a little popular, and
Okay.
sometimes I had to excuse myself from the booth when couples would come over and start talking about the pros and cons of the various.
Frank, what are you doing here?
Oh, that's great. Oh, so it all kind of began just trying to help out your sister-in-law, and you started to realize, shoot, I could do this.
I did, and that was in '09, and I did it while I was doing the other sides of the business as well, the employer and individual plans. And in 2011, I decided that, I think I can do Medicare full time. And since then, it's just kind of taken off for me.
And the language on some of those policies and the documents, and even the health insurance, so you're talking vision and dental from your employer, they want you to choose what you want. It's all so confusing at times. And I have some experience with it only because you've been in the family, you've helped me. So I've actually had to help some of my coworkers try to wade through all of the jargon, but it's tough to understand. And for a senior citizen, I would imagine it's extremely hard. So how do you kind of relate such a specific topic to a demographic that might not necessarily understand it?
Well, they get bombarded when they're approaching Medicare eligibility with information from every carrier that sells Medicare plans.
Which is at what age?
For most people at 65.
Okay.
When they turn 65, they become Medicare eligible if they've worked at least 10 years equivalent in the United States.
Okay.
And then at that point they've paid for it, half of Medicare. But anyway, they get bombarded with all that documentation and information, and they just don't know what to do with it. So I market to people that are turning 65 to particular zip codes that I'm interested in working in, and then I get phone calls. And the first thing that I tell them is, you don't have to know anything about that information. All you have to do is know my phone number.
Which I would think they can probably remember or write down or put in a cell phone here and there. So that's awesome. Right now, you're a vice president with Bridalwood Insurance. Tell us a little bit about that company.
Well, Bridalwood was started a little over 2 years ago by a guy named Jeff Whissel in Poway. And I worked with Jeff as captive agents at United Healthcare for a couple of years. I became independent in 2013, and he became independent in 2014. And I just wanted to go out and be a one-man shop, but he wanted to go out and start a big agency and bring on a bunch of agents. So in 2 years, we've amassed over 100 agents. Wow. And we do primarily Medicare. That's what our focus is. We do individual employer plans if existing clients have family members that are interested in that.
Okay.
But it's primarily a Medicare focus. We have exclusive agency relationships with a lot of medical providers around the county that actually hand out our phone numbers to the Medicare eligibles.
Okay.
So I got a question for you. What kind of separates you from the others out there? I mean, there are so many people that are getting bombarded. Why you guys? What do you do differently than anybody else out there?
Our focus is that first of all, we want to make Medicare easy, but we want to do the best thing for the client. And most agents in the insurance business, they want to write an application, get paid their commission, and hope you never call them. Our focus is that we want to form a relationship, and we want you to call us anytime you're thinking about changing what you have, because we want to be there to help you make that change. We're not just with one carrier. We represent several carriers in San Diego County. So we encourage our clients not to get stuck in the rotation on a recorded customer service line and try and figure out what button to push, but call us, because we usually know the answers off the top of our heads with regard to Medicare.
Very nice. Now, I've heard some rumblings about Medicare and how it might be struggling or maybe not the best product. What are some of the growing concerns with Medicare?
A lot of people hear mixed messages because most of the news is regarding health insurance, and a lot of people throw, because the carriers are the same for Medicare as they are for other health insurance products, a lot of people think that when there's issues in health insurance that it also affects Medicare. Medicare is pretty difficult to disturb. It's a huge voting block. There's so many millions of people on Medicare plans that that there's always the talk of budget issues and funding public services, but Medicare is one that everybody wants to try and protect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you talked a little bit about you got to be 65, you got to spend at least 10 years in the workforce. But how does Medicare itself work, and how can you tailor it to individual clients?
So all your working life, whenever you look at your paycheck stub, you see a deduction for Medicare. So you're paying for that as soon as you start working at whatever age, even if you're a newspaper boy at 16 or 12.
Right.
So
with a great union nowadays.
And by the way, those guys don't exist anymore. Now it's adults driving cars around.
That's right.
Anyway, so by the time you become 65, you've paid for your Medicare Part A, which is hospitalization, and then when you become 65, you need to enroll in Part B, which is everything non-inpatient hospitalization, and you pay for that on a monthly basis. And if you take your Social Security already, or at the time you enroll in Medicare, then it'll be an automatic deduction, and that's about $122 a month as a base amount. But the monthly premium for Part B goes up by in accordance with your increase in wages. So there's a chance that you could pay as much as $500 a month for Medicare Part B.
And that's if you're still working?
It's if you're still reporting adjusted gross income that qualifies you for that.
So if you had a home and you could write off expenses with that, would that help lower your...
No, because the adjusted gross income is before a household deduction.
Got it. Okay.
So it's adjusted gross income plus exempt interest is what they measure your Medicare Part B qualification for.
Okay. So, I mean, just talking about this in the last 10 minutes, there's so much detail that goes into the Medicare product, or even, different life insurance policies. You want people to pick up the phone and call you if someone's listening right now. If you're out there listening and you do have some questions about life insurance or Medicare, or you know someone who might become eligible, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
They can reach me at 858-748-1773. And my encouragement is this: it doesn't matter to me whether or not somebody allows me to write an application for them, as long as I help them get pointed in the right direction and solve their problem. When somebody else comes along that wants to know something about Medicare or health insurance, they're going to give them my name and number. So one way or another, down the road, I'm going to get taken care of. And that's another thing that sets us apart, is we don't worry about the commission in any particular deal. All we want to do is help people.
Absolutely. And that's kind of how
we do our business
as well.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a referral game. We want to take care of our clients because you're not done. If we do get the opportunity to help you with a loan, it's not, okay, thanks, see you later. We want to make sure you're a client for life and that you might refer other business to us. And I know I've told people, look, you're in a great loan. I wouldn't change a thing. Even though I just walked away from some sort of commission, if I were to, to corner them into thinking they could do something better. No, that's not how we get it done. I'm sure you've turned down deals before.
Many times. But those people are usually so appreciative that you're not trying to rip them off, that they just realize this is a good dude. I can trust him with my friends and family. And by the way, here's my coworker's information. Please give him a call. Let him know that I told him to call you or whatever. So it's just better to take care of the clients all the time.
Excellent. All right, well, we are going to go to break. We'll come back for segment number 4, talk a little real estate, talk about some hot listings out there with the Whissel Realty team. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. I promise you that. This is Whissel Wednesday on AM 1170, The Answer.
San Diego's home for intelligent, conservative talk. AM 1170. The Answer.
What if you could safely grow your retirement account with a reasonable rate of return with no risk of principal? Hi, this is Dave Harris with Wealth Preservation, specializing in retirement income and insurance planning. There's nothing I enjoy more than helping San Diegans protect and grow their retirement savings. For over 4 decades, we have helped families achieve financial success. If you need help with your retirement planning, please visit me online or call me today. My number is 800-313-PLAN, or visit me online at wealthpreservationllc.com.
Your Social Security number is at more risk than you think. Personal information like your Social Security number, bank account information, and your taxes need to be protected. Hi, I'm Angie Stanley with Oakwood Escrow. As a consumer, when you're buying, selling, or refinancing a home, you do have a choice in who you use for escrow. Oakwood Escrow has gone to extreme measures to make sure your private information is kept safe and secure. Call me today and reference The Craig Sewing Show to receive a custom gift at the close of your escrow. Call 858-217-5248, 858-217-5248, or visit oakwoodsescrow.com.
Hi, I'm Philippe Heller with the Real Estate Inspection Company. When buying real estate today, it's more important than ever to have a thorough home inspection to protect yourself. When quality and experience count, contact the Real Estate Inspection Company. We're the largest home inspection company serving San Diego for 10 years. After checking hundreds of items throughout a house, we provide a detailed computer-generated inspection report. And we use the newest and best infrared thermal imaging at every inspection 7 days a week. Check us out at sdinspect.com. That's sdinspect.com.
This is Craig Sewing, and I endorse Philippe Heller as our exclusive inspector for San Diego.
Your home should be a place that you love coming to. Hi, I'm Nikki Klug, interior designer, and there is nothing I enjoy more than helping San Diegans live in homes that they fall madly in love with. I've helped hundreds of homeowners experience a sense of luxury, rejuvenation, and inspiration in their everyday lives. If you need help creating a home that you love, please visit me online at nikkiklugdesign.com or call me at 619-948-7173.
Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. My name is Clay Murray. I'm a loan officer with Team Home Loans. Kyle Whissel and Jason Hall are out for today, so you are left with myself and my cohort, loan officer at Team Home Loans, Travis Sailing.
That's
Travis.
Right. What an upgrade. Am I right?
I know.
You guys are welcome out there, Radio Land. We are doing the world a service.
We've also had our presence graced with one Bill Murray. Bill has joined us for the last 3 segments. Going to bring it home here in segment number 4. For those of you who have missed it, Bill is actually my father. We talked a little bit about the mortgage industry, that you had some experience there. Talked a little bit about what you're doing now, helping helping others, settle into the golden years with a nice Medicare or life insurance plan. And right now, I want to talk about another tie that you have to this show. It seems like they are a lot.
Weird why
today.
we have him as a guest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, weird.
You are actually a Whissel Realty client currently.
I am.
This is Whissel Wednesday, obviously hosted by Kyle Whissel, broker and owner of Whissel Realty. But you have a listing right now with the Whissel Realty team. Tell us a little about it.
Well, it's a house, I mentioned it earlier, that's on Golden Sunset in Poway, and I'm not living in it right now. And we decided that we'd like to try and sell it. And I had a particular price point in mind.
$1 million.
I had a particular price point in mind, and so I thought, well, I'll interview some agents because I haven't been successful in selling them myself in the past. Mm-hmm. And even though I am a broker, I decided to talk to a few agents and see if what they might be able to sell it for, and if it made sense, then I'd go with them. And besides the presentation or the marketing effort that they provide, they had enough room in the price point that they had in mind that I could pay their commission and still be where I wanted to be. So I thought, I can just kick back and take it easy.
So what were you thinking that a current real estate brokerage could do that you couldn't? I mean, I've been with you for a while now. I've seen you buy and sell homes pretty successfully. Why is this one different?
Well, I'm okay if I get involved with conversation with a buyer or a seller, and buying for myself or selling for myself, and I have somebody who's interested in doing the transaction with me. I can handle that part of it, but it's the marketing effort that I was most concerned with, and I'd heard a little bit about Whissel Realty and Kyle, and so when I sat down and talked to him, I was pretty impressed with the drone video and all of how many flags they put out for open houses, and the caravanning and how many people they get in there, and some of the promotions that they do, the little wine and cheese thing for the neighbors so that everybody could spread the word about the house, and the success that he'd had already. And so it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Show me the money!
So this is a home for sale in the Poway area. It's perched atop a hill with truly a golden sunset view. The street is aptly named. Now, I don't know that Kyle or the Whissel Realty team have really done a lot of business in that market. What did Kyle tell you about, his success lending itself to succeeding in the Poway area, where it's actually, somewhat cornered by some other realtors in the game?
Well, there's actually a significant amount of notoriety connected with Kyle because he's been successful in San Diego County, and he's not specific to a particular geographic area. So people have heard about him, and they indicated that they would participate with the caravans or the local real estate groups, and they would find that they were probably already aware of Kyle, and then they just promote a little bit more on the open houses or the caravans and give some incentive for people to come out and see the houses.
Now, did you go to the wine and cheese party?
I didn't. We started to.
Oh, come on. All right.
We started to, but then we just thought, well, let's leave it to the professionals, and, it's been a while since we'd seen the neighbors over there, but we didn't think that it would matter. So.
All right. Well, I guess you could say that the wine and cheese wasn't necessarily intended for you.
Right.
It is intended for prospective buyers. And it's really, I don't know a lot of brokerages out there that are doing these high-end wine and cheese parties. It is definitely something you want to tailor to specific properties that fit that characteristic. But it's important to get the neighbors involved. You're probably not going to have your next door neighbor buy your house. But why do you think Kyle is targeting those neighbors for these open houses?
Everybody knows somebody, and everybody's got family, everybody's got friends, and people's relationships reach far and wide. So, if you have a pretty unique house like the Golden Sunset House is, then you need to go across a lot of different lines of
communication, relationships.
Yeah, and different markets and people looking for different things. I mean, it's a horse property. It's on a hill. It's got a great view, 2 acres, gated, secure. But it's being high on the hill with that view, then there's not a heck of a lot of usable hillside. It's got some flat areas that you can use for those various purposes, but it has other attributes that make people comfortable when they're there. It's got that huge airy feeling and
absolutely. Okay. So, we can find this property on whisselrealty.com. Why don't you drop the address for everybody so they can go check it out?
It's 14456 Golden Sunset Lane, Poway, 92064.
Beautiful. Yeah, definitely head to the website, check it out. There'll probably be some links on there. The drone video, I've seen it. It's outstanding.
I've seen it as well. It's a very beautiful property.
The property has a deck out there that enjoys some beautiful views. I know there's some photos captured from the deck, but then the drone, it just goes, up and away. And
shout out to Brian, who filmed that.
That's right.
Great
Brian
job, Brian
Kochi, who's usually here in studio, although taking a couple weeks off since the boss is out. He shot a great drone video and some great photos of the property. I encourage you to go look at it. And even if it's not for you, like Bill's saying, you might know some people who are in the market, and relationships travel far and wide. So spread the word. We do want to obviously get that property sold to the right buyer to help out Bill, to help out Kyle, and to help out a potential buyer. So very awesome. And where do we want to go next? I have in my notes, let's freestyle here at the end.
Drop a beat. I got this.
I know we were talking in the break about the Players' Championship coming up, golf tournament.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
I am too. And Thursday, tomorrow is the opening round. They have world number 1 and world number 2 paired together, Jason Day and Jordan Spieth. Big Spieth fan over here.
Big Spieth fan over here. That's right, man. He's going to take it down this week. And
you think so?
Oh, absolutely, man.
We actually agree on sports for a change.
How about that?
Oh, man.
No wager to be had then.
Man.
Well, this is boring.
This is terrible.
All right, well, you know what? Ricky Fowler's defending his crown at that tournament. Very impressive last year. We were talking about it during the break. I believe he birdied 17, the famous Island Green at TPC Sawgrass, 3 times?
3 times.
On Sunday during, obviously a playoff round. But how impressive is that?
Pretty lucky, if you ask me. Spieth is going to take care of it this week. That's all you guys got to know.
You think so?
Next topic. Spieth has got it.
Well, there's a lot of water on that hole, and you remember the Masters blow up, par 3, is it 14?
Surprised you can remember that with such a big, blow to the head last night.
Yeah.
Still have your memory. That's
we
good.
don't need to talk about that. But, man, if anybody can find the water in a clutch moment, it seems like it's Spieth.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Wow.
1 hole in 3 years.
No. Actually, the Masters before he won last year, he blew up playing against Bubba Watson in the final. So
second place, first place, second place is still not a bad resume.
It's not a bad resume, but some errant shots there in clutch time. I'm not saying
I've golfed with you as well.
Okay.
And if we want to talk about that, we can bring that up right now. So,
okay, we don't need to talk about that either. But I'm just saying, for world number 2, don't you expect him to make those clutch shots more regularly than he has?
And he does. I mean, he was the leader for the first 3. I mean, he was wire to wire up until that hole.
Until he wasn't anymore.
Right. I mean, but he was defending champ. I mean, he's not a scrub out here. The guy had a bad moment. I think we've all been there. If you've ever played golf, it's a tricky game, even for the best.
The kid's been able to buy a beer for 18 months. Like, let's cut him some slack. Like, he's a young kid. Like, the best is yet to come for Jordan Spieth.
Oh, and he rebounds.
Don't doubt it.
He rebounds better than, most players in a situation, and he has a good head on his shoulders, and he'll be back strong this week. I guarantee it.
Now, Fowler is playing pretty hot right now, coming in with some confidence after winning last year. Do you think he's going to give any of these guys a run for their money?
Not likely.
Come on.
He'll be in the running. I don't see Ricky Fowler going back to back.
I'll give him a top 10. I'll give him a top 10, bottom top 10.
I'll give him top 5.
Ooh,
really?
I smell a bet.
No.
Do we want to
I'm not doing a bet on
No,
that.
he's backing down. I see how it is.
I would probably give him top 10. I don't think he's going to repeat. That's always tough to do, and one of the toughest courses out there. But
come on, Paul. Throw something out there.
I would never bet against Ricky Fowler. I think he's one of the top 5, 10 golfers in the world right now. So he'll be in the running, but I don't see him like being in the top 5.
All right.
Nice little back.
Top 5 best.
Yeah, very quietly backing back into the booth there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not uncommon that Jason Hall, big movie buff, he leaves with some movie show times or premieres or ratings, box office numbers.
Yeah, so what do we got over there, Paul?
We had you pull some numbers. What's going on? What's the biggest hit in theaters right now? Maybe something people should go check out this weekend before it leaves the theater.
Well, you get a little bit of time to go check out this movie, which I'm going to do this weekend. In number 2 is Captain America: Civil War. I've heard great things about it. It is blowing out the competition right now. Last weekend it made $75 million. In a very, very close second, another movie that I would like to see is The Jungle Book with $5 million.
I've heard The Jungle Book's outstanding. And a movie from my childhood. Travis, you're a little older than I am.
Just a little bit.
Do you remember this movie?
I have a great memory. Do you?
I do, actually. Yes.
Weird.
Thank you. Okay, so that's one that's on my hit list, Captain America as well. Keeping with the superhero theme, though, I did hear that Batman vs. Superman, not so hot.
I've not seen that yet. I've heard kind of bad things about it, so I'm waiting for it to come to like Redbox or Netflix.
Right.
But
Ben Affleck is embarrassed. Like, he's humiliated by it.
Yeah.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
I did like the Man of Steel movie. I thought that was really good. So I had high expectations for Batman vs. Superman, but I've heard bad things. So.
And is that one still out in some theaters around the county?
Probably.
Okay. Bill, seen any movies lately?
I haven't seen any movies, but I'll make this offer. If anybody calls me as a result of this show and mentions this show, then I have a couple of movie tickets for them.
Ah,
all right.
Okay.
Does that play for everyone here in the studio?
I know your number now. And one more time, let's give them your number so they can give you a call.
858-748-1773.
How about a website where they can check you out, maybe get some information?
Bridalwoodinsurance.com. Scroll down to find an agent, enter my name, and you'll be directed to my page.
And if you've missed it during the other 3.5 segments of the show, his name is literally Bill Murray. So, or is it William on the page?
It's Bill.
It's Bill. Okay, perfect. Unforgettable. I thought for a second there when you started talking about, but if anyone, I thought you were going to make a wager. It really felt like you were coming on strong. Okay, well, let's go see some movies this weekend. Travis, you got a hot date?
I do.
Okay, well,
don't tell my wife.
Yeah.
Just kidding, babe. I love you.
All right, excellent. Well, we're gonna wrap things up. Sorry.
Take her to see The Nice Guys, directed by Shane Black. Did Iron Man 3.
Cut his mic.
No, keep going.
Directed Iron Man 3. Also did a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Nice Guys looks like a fantastic movie. I can't wait to see that one myself.
And who's the star in that one?
Russell Crowe.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all you ladies out there, Ryan Gosling fans, I'm sure you're in line for that one. Oh, okay. Shots fired. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up the show as usual. It's been a blast. Travis, thank you for hosting.
Of course. 2
weeks back-to-back now. Paul, I'm sure we'll see you again when we get the call. Special thanks to our special guest today, Bill Murray of Bridalwood Insurance, Vice President over there. Give him a call if you have life insurance or Medicare questions. As always, this has been Whissel Wednesday right here on 1170 The Answer. Everybody have a good night.
Whistle, baby, whistle, baby.